I need to modify the profile copier attachment that I made for my Colchester 1800 lathe. It uses a gauge pin as the follower in conjunction with a round carbide insert the same diameter. I've already milled the block of cold rolled steel to be square and to the finished size. It's sitting on parallels in the new big cheapo vise, so now I need to locate the centre in the X and Y axes. My Heimer's an absolute joy to use. It doesn't mar the sides of the workpiece like some of the rotary edge finders do. Way overkill for this, but it was there in the cabinet, so I thought, why not? As the Bridgeport's almost as old as I am, very old, I have to take into account a little backlash, so I go past the 0 point, move slowly back at one face and just approach 0 on the other face. There's a bit of parallax in this view, but 10 or 20 micrometers isn't going to matter. Right, I've set the 0 using the half function on the DRO. Time to put the Heimer back in its protective cocoon so I don't drop it like the clumsy oaf I am. The central hole needs to take an M8 socket cap screw, so I'll pilot it using a small stub drill, then an 8mm stub and then the 8.2mm jobber. I really should buy an 8.2mm stub drill, shouldn't I? I'll use an M8 counterboring tool to make the recess for the head of the cap screw, hence the 8.2mm clearance rather than 8.0. These things have a heartfelt desire to chatter and trap chips, so I keep the spindle speed low and use firm and consistent pressure with the quill, plus plenty of ester based non-smoky cutting oil so I don't choke. Looks like it fits. So let's refit the 5mm stub drill in the chuck and pilot the pin mounting holes. Hey, I even remembered to slide the parallels out of harm's way, for once. This is a 9.7mm cobalt stub drill to prep the hole for reaming. Sharp-eyed viewers will notice that this is a hand reamer I'm abusing. I've a credible excuse for this that's far too complex to explain right now. The finish of the bores looks good and the edges are excellent. The witness marks on the faces are almost imperceptible to the touch and measure at under 2 micrometers with my Millimeter, but they just look alarming in a bleak light. The fit of the gauge pin's just about right. That hand reamer's a Presto, probably 30 years old, made nearby in Sheffield. The pin's from China and it's remarkably good when compared with my gauge block standards, certainly within a micrometer. The block runs in a T-slot groove that I machined into the mount. I need to mill the face down to leave a 16mm raised parallel section to run in the slot and maintain alignment. It needs to be 2.5mm above the sliding faces, so I'll start off with this 6-flute roughing cutter, hogging out material very close to the finished size. Yes, there is a blob of oil on the camera lens. Again, dag nabbit muskie. This cutter really shifts metal, but leaves a grainy surface finish and absolutely wicked burrs. All ready to roll. So, as Laurie would say on the hydraulic press channel.
And here we go.
Now the majority of the material's gone, I'll use a 2-flute YG1 uncoated end mill with almost no corner radius for a finishing pass, or maybe 2, to get to the final dimension. Lots of checking needed so I don't go past the target width and scrap another part. I've touched the end mill to the surface of the part, locked the quill, Set a 0 on the DRO and set the table Z axis to take a cut. More measuring. Bad memories of scrapped parts. Shudder. Perhaps one more time just to be really sure. A finishing cut to get the width exactly right and we're done. Off camera I lapped the mating faces with 1200 grit paper on a parallel, tapered the lead in and lead out of the raised section, deburred everything and put a light chamfer on the holes. The third hole's there in case I want to fit a 6 or 8mm pin later on. Sigh of relief as is tradition. It all seems to be okay and the pins have a nice tight sliding fit. The thing also slides nicely in the body of the lathe mount. As I usually say at this point, I think that'll do.